Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Back to School Reactions. I thought I was doing 4 today. I could not leave this Bloodshed one alone. I want to see it. I want to know what the deal is. Somebody said now that I have a better understanding of kind of a little of UPCHURCH's background and some of the things he stands for and whatnot, that this would be a good time for me to watch this. This was recommended to me by a couple people actually, and uh, uh, actually Kenny had said wait to watch it until you're sure you like his music and whatnot. So I'm assuming that means this one might be a little different or whatnot. So we're going to find out what Bloodshed is all about. This is UPCHURCH Bloodshed. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button. I drop videos every day. You're probably here because you like UPCHURCH, and I'm exploring this UPCHURCH music deeply, and I'll be diving into as much of his stuff as I can possibly react to. I have become a fan. For those of you who are here with Creek Squad, thank you for participating in my journey. And let's see what Bloodshed is all about.
And I don't want to cast no stone, but I feel like I'm sitting on a throne that's about to self-implode. In a house made of glass that is already cracked and destruction's coming fast. And I see no love, I see no pride, I just see blood on our home flags. Yeah, on our own grass.
I see no pride. I see blood on our own flags, on our own grass, on our home grass. And that's a shame, because look at 2019. You have people who hate America, who are running around complaining about America constantly, and they're Americans. Like, stop complaining. Go do something in your own community to help your own community. If everybody were to quit complaining and do something to just try and make life a little bit better for somebody else or themselves, we'd be in a lot better shape. This place is a mess right now. My hope is that there's a lot of people out there who are as sick of this BS as I am, and are wanting to do something to improve our country, not just tear it down.
Church. I woke up this morning, flipped the TV on, and I see a civil war in the country I call home. American flags, Confederate flags, and Nazis with swastikas.
Hey, what's that say?
Pissed 'cause they're mad at the
Don't let them brainwash you. Agreed. Agreed. The mainstream media is nothing more than the brainwashing tool for the people who aren't, I don't want to get too political, but let's just say the majority of the mainstream media is the brainwashing department of the left. They won't go tell the stories of what's really going on. They got people running around hating cops, yet cops do more to protect us than you do. What are you doing to protect people? You're not doing it. You're out there whining. Half of you are running out in protest. They had all these Black Lives Matter things going on in Oakland, and I was shocked. I mean, they're out there for what they say is a great cause, but all they did was break windows on Starbucks and banks and everything else, burn cars, burn trash cans. What did it do for you besides make you look bad? Not one thing got accomplished, so they came back and did it again. Then they started walking out in the middle of freeways, because that's a great idea too. Didn't serve their purpose at all. While they were doing that, there were looters robbing businesses, and that is your social protest. Try doing something to improve things. Stop trying to run around and tear everything apart and think that somehow that's helping your cause. You know, when you were a little kid and your mom or dad said, go make your bed, did you destroy the whole house, rip off stuff from your parents because you didn't like the fact they told you to make your bed? You still had to go make your bed or you got beat. I think some of these people need a beating. So, let's see.
Flags, Confederate flags, and Nazis with swastikas. Hate groups throwing piss because they're mad at a monument.
Okay, I'm going to go back for a second. I just heard him start to say something which I don't want to predict the word, but
Flags, Confederate flags, and Nazis with swastikas. Hate.
American flags, Confederate flags, and Nazis with swastikas. And yet some people think that those three are woven together, and that's a shame. There's nothing wrong with the Confederate flag. It is a symbol of a time in our country where there was deep division and people stood up for their beliefs. Whether they won or lost didn't matter. They stood up for their beliefs, which is what everybody else wants to do now. And now is not a problem, even though they're running around destroying everything and saying, you know, shoot the cops and all this. It's sickening.
Hate groups throwing piss because they're mad at a monument. Represents a time when we advance from mistakes. Now you're making the mistake by taking that out of place.
He must be talking about the Confederate monuments of the South. There was stories on the news about how people were wanting them taken down. People were coming in from other states, actually, that didn't even live there, that were just trying to start shit because they wanted this thing taken down, as if you take that down and it makes the whole past go away. It doesn't. Those monuments are there to remind us of our past. There are reminders of our past, of good past and bad past. When you take away all of the reminders of the past, what do you think you're doing? Taking away the past? It doesn't work like that.
Just stomping and spitting on it like you just whooped someone's ass. You fucking degenerate, get your lazy ass off the grass. This ain't a statue of slavery. Do you see any slaves? All I see is some idiots cause of social media craze.
You know, there is this thing that's going on where everybody's getting blamed for slavery, and you're not in the right. You're blaming the wrong generation. We didn't do it. You're blaming everything, everywhere you go. So you're going to take down everything that reminds you of. How about slave labor? How about ban all Nikes because they used slave labor years ago? They probably still do. How about banning? How about you go protest them because they're still slavery? Actually, that won't work because you want the newest Air Jordans, right? It kind of defeats the purpose to protest somebody for using slave labor, but then buying their stuff because, you know, you like it. It's just a joke.
What, you gonna catch me outside? Yeah, well, come catch a fade. Cause I bleed red, white, and blue. Y'all bleeding anger and hate. And I don't wanna catch.
And that's what I was just saying. Anger and hate. They're running around destroying everything. To what? When they went through Oakland and burned up cars and trash cans and broke huge, very expensive plate glass windows in Starbucks and Chase and all these other shops, and then they looted stuff. Do you think that that's going to make the cops look at you the way you want to be looked at? You're saying we don't like the fact that people are getting killed by cops, and we think it's overwhelmingly disproportionate. Well, that's just not the case. It's just there's not a protest every time some white guy does something dumb and gets killed by a cop too. The media makes it a disproportionate event. It's not disproportionate in the amount of people, they always say that like it's so wrong that more of one race or another is getting worse jail terms. Man, that's BS. That's BS. I've been to prison. There were more white guys in prison than there were anybody else in California. Didn't matter whether it was in Chino or San Quentin. So it's not that there's a disproportionate thing. It's that the media only shows you what they want to show you so that you'll conform to their views.
Wait,
I missed something.
Red, white, and blue, y'all bleeding anger and hate. And I don't want to cast no stone, but I feel like
Okay, back to that.
that's about to self-implode. In a house made of glass that is already cracked and destruction.
That's a good chorus.
And I see no love, I see no pride, I just see blood on our home flags. Yeah, on our own grass. Yeah, and tip for you little shit stain, no brain thinking you the man with a communist flag just waving at your hand. Bitch, I'll start a militia when the government crashes and light a fire under y'all's anti-American asses.
And that's the other thing is when they were protesting, they were protesting also by burning the American flag. You hate our country so bad, get a visa, go somewhere else. Go spend a few years in another country where you don't have the freedoms and you don't have the ability to get what you can get here. And then come back and stop acting like you hate America so bad.
Because y'all think y'all can run this country just smooth as molasses. You got people with signs saying that Black Lives Matter. Yeah, Black Lives Matter, but my life matters as well. Y'all trying to get to the swimming pool, but you stuck in the well. And you can...
And that's something that you hear them saying all the time, that's so disrespectful to say Black Lives Matter, but Blue Lives Matter or another life matters. I don't know that it's disrespectful. I think that, like I said, they're being conned into thinking that there's a disproportionate amount of them getting killed or getting into worse trouble than there are anybody else. And it's just not true. It's just not true.
Shouting can yell, but no one's gonna come help when you out tearing up a city that your city helped build. And how your kids gonna learn from mistakes we made in the past when you erasing that
Hang on.
shit.
We'll go back to that too, but they were just showing a picture of people vandalizing cars.
To the swimming pool, but you stuck in the well. And you can shout and can yell, but no one's gonna come help when you out tearing up a city that your city helped build. And how your kids gonna learn from mistakes we made in the past when you erasing that shit like you wanted to relapse.
Okay, he just said what I said at the beginning. I don't even need to go over it. I mean, it's that true. You're trying to erase images that you think are somehow going to change history. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. The way the left wants it right now is that you will erase every single sign of slavery. And when you do that, what? Slavery didn't exist? It's all gone now? So then when people are complaining about slavery, do we just say, I don't know what you're talking about, there's no proof of that? Maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know. Get rid of all the signs and then say there's no proof that that ever existed. I mean, it's stupid. It is stupid. There are still great books about slavery and what happened and the life of the slaves and all that stuff. Do we get rid of that too to tell their story? Or is it just this modern day butthurt society who hasn't experienced slavery firsthand themselves? I mean, yeah, you may have had family members that were slaves, and I'm not trying to diminish that. That is a horrible, horrible thing. I am not proud of that portion of our history, but I'm not going to erase it. I'm just not. It's our history. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's what makes America America. It's the fact that something as bad as slavery was going on, and it took a president like Lincoln to say, I don't want this. And he stood up and he fought against everybody. And believe me, there was a lot of rich landowners who didn't want to give up slavery. And they were probably trying to influence it politically. We can't take away the history, but we can learn from it. We can't take away our mistakes, but we can make sure we don't repeat them. But you're not going to do that by pretending that it never happened, by getting rid of everything. You know, I had, my whole family has cancer problems, huge cancer problems in my family. For the longest time, I was so delusional, I was afraid that I would get cancer, so my way of dealing with it was to pretend it wouldn't happen. Doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And I don't want to cast no stone, but I feel like I'm sitting on a throne that's about to self-implode. In a house made of glass that is already cracked, and destruction's coming fast. And I see no love, I see no pride, I just see blood on our home flags. Yeah, on our own grass. Yeah. From the outside looking in at all the shit that's going on in the world, man, in a perspective of mine, it's kind of like you're sitting
Hang on. I know. Lord, when I die, I want to live. Yep.
In a perspective of mine, it's kind of like you're sitting in a field with tall grass and it just rained, and you got bald tires, and you're on the acceleration so much that you ain't going nowhere. And if you ain't going nowhere, I ain't going nowhere. Because we gotta move together as a country to get to the next destination. And I don't want to cast no stone, but I feel like I'm sitting on a throne that's about to self-implode. In a house made of glass that is already cracked, and destruction's coming fast. And I see no love, I see no pride, I just see blood on our home flags. Yeah, on our own grass.
Wow. I noticed when I looked at this came out in 2017. There was a lot popping off then too with this stuff. I gotta say, the song doesn't offend me. The song actually encourages me. I feel encouraged. I feel hope that there are people out there who are just like me, who don't think that you need to eliminate things to change things. You don't need to tear down a statue so that you pretend slavery didn't exist. And those statues aren't about slaves. Those statues are about a time in our country when you had two different sides fighting for two different things. And it wasn't just about slavery. In fact, it was the slavery portion was a minor portion of the Civil War. It was about the government trying to exercise more control than what they were duly granted at the time. You know, I can look back at history and I can think of all the lessons that I learned going to school, and I can think, how many of those lessons would I not know? How many of those lessons will the kids today not know once you start banning all of it? All of the stories, the pictures, the statues, the reminders. You want to ban all those too? Because that's kind of the direction it seems like they're trying to go. And what a shameful day that will be for our country, the day that we no longer ever talk about that point in time in our country. But you get rid of all of those monuments, you get rid of all the books, you get rid of all of the signs the reminders of that part of our history, it doesn't take away that part of our history. What it does is it makes you oblivious to it, and when you're oblivious to your mistakes, you'll repeat them. You guys, this is a long video for a short song. This was a very, very deep song. I'm glad that I listened to it, and what I'm probably going to do now is I'm going to go back and watch how a couple of the others reactors reacted to this song, see what did they get. Maybe there's some an angle that I didn't quite catch or that I didn't think of, and I'll try and learn from that. This song is too important, and this topic is too important to just gloss over and be done with it. I certainly hope we don't go back down the same road that of mistakes that we came from. But if you try to eliminate every sign of our history, we're bound to repeat it. Think about if you took every single street sign and every single traffic sign and all that out. How would anybody figure out where they need to go or where to avoid? They won't be able to. What are you going to say? Go down like 20 minutes and then turn on the street with no name, and then look for another street with no name, but make sure not to go down the wrong streets with no name. Make sure you find the right street with no name. It'll be on the left with all the other streets with no name, but you need to know which one is the right one, kind of thing. We'll be lost. Take away all these signs of our past, and we will be lost and destined to go back in circles like this and keep repeating our same mistakes. UPCHURCH, I really respect you for this song. I'm sure you caught shit for this from some people, and I'm sure that a lot of people loved it. You know, I hope to be part of that militia. I hope to be one of the ones that when it all else is going through everything, that we we just get better at living life. So with that, I'm going to end this video. Thanks.